Yo, what's good, everyone? This is Ayo Boxing from Adiba, and we're here to debunk the narrative surrounding the Devin Haney and Vasiliy Lomachenko fight. So recently, the fight between Devin Haney, the undisputed champion at lightweight, and Lomachenko, the future Hall of Famer, has been officially announced for May 20th, and they just had an official press conference yesterday. This is a fight that's been building up since 2019, and this is a fight that I've been wanting to see for a long time and is finally here. So, salute to the both of them. This is a good fight between two highly skilled, talented, and technical boxers, Loma being the veteran and Haney being the young gun. But there's been a recurring narrative that I keep on seeing with this fight, and each day it seems to get bigger and bigger. The narrative is Haney's too big and Loma is now old. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with pointing out obvious facts. Loma is the older fighter and Haney is the bigger man. But it becomes problematic when it's used as an excuse and a way to discredit a fighter. Fans are now using this narrative to discredit Haney and give preemptive excuses for Loma. But in this video, I'm going to debunk this narrative. First, let's debunk the Haney's too big for Loma narrative. But we have to start off with facts. Yes, Loma is the smaller man. He started his career at featherweight and moved up to lightweight, while Devin Haney has been at lightweight his whole career. Haney is naturally the bigger man. However, Loma's been fighting at lightweight since 2018, and Loma was the naturally smaller guy in each of those fights. Haney's listed as 5'8", with a 71-inch arm reach and box rec, and Loma has already fought several opponents with similar height and reach before. Linares, Ortiz, Comey, and Pedraza are all listed at 5'8", while Campbell is listed as 5'9", and Nakatani is listed at 5'11". Comey, Nakatani, and Campbell are all listed of having a 71-inch arm reach. When Loma fought those guys, size wasn't a big deal for the majority of the fans, but all of a sudden, everyone's concerned about Haneys' size. Why is that? This narrative is a classic boxing double standard. Fans picking and choosing what matters when it's convenient to them in order to protect their favorite fighter. Now let's debunk the Loma is old narrative. And yes, Loma is the older fighter. Loma is currently 35 years old, while Haney is 24 years old. And it's true that fighters do tend to slow down once they hit their mid-30s. But this narrative that Loma is old really started last year when Loma fought Jamie Ortiz. That fight was competitive and close, with some believing that Ortiz deserved the draw or should have won. Based on that performance, many fans began to speculate that Loma was not the same due to being older. And there may be some truth in that statement, but there's two facts that people intentionally or unintentionally leave out regarding that fight. First is that Loma was coming off a 10-month layoff after being in Ukraine for a long period of time, so ring rust may be a factor. And secondly, and also the most important one, is that Ortiz used to be Loma's sparring partner, which explains why Ortiz looks so comfortable and familiar with fighting Loma. He's been at camp with him, he trained with him, and he sparred against him, so he definitely knows what Loma likes to do and doesn't like to do, being familiar with him. Loma even said it himself in a press conference interview. Look at this clip.
How rusty were you for Jermaine Ortiz? Your long layoff, how did it impact you?
Look, everybody forget about our preparation, and he was my sparring partner. We had a lot of rounds with him in a ring. Everybody forget about this. He's a very talented boxer. He's a very faster boxer, and I think Jermaine Ortiz will be a big problem for any fighters our weight classes.
And before the Ortiz fight, when Loma fought Nakatani and Comey, the fans and boxing pundits were saying that Loma looked great and spectacular. And if you claim that Haney waited until Loma got old to take on the fight, then you're lying to yourself because Haney wanted this fight since 2019. Back then, Haney was climbing up the WBC rankings while Loma was a unified WBC, WBA, WBO champion at the time. Haney had positioned himself to be the mandatory by becoming the WBC interim champion. However, Loma wanted to fight Tio for undisputed, so the WBC created a franchise title, giving Loma the ability to fight Tio and also elevating Haney to world champion. And as we all know, this created massive confusion for the lightweight division and becoming one of the main reasons that prevented Haney and Loma from fighting each other. But with Haney becoming undisputed last year and Loma returning from Ukraine, this fight is finally happening. In conclusion, using the Loma is old narrative is just a tactic used by fans to discredit Haney and protect the egos of themselves. It's also disrespectful to Loma as well. Haney and Loma both deserve respect and credit for taking this fight. Salute to the both of them. And if Haney wins, then he should get the full credit for beating and fighting a future Hall of Famer and Lomachenko. And if Lomachenko wins, he deserves all the credit for beating a young, undisputed champion and Devin Haney. But if Loma does win this fight, would Loma fans accept the potential excuses and narratives that could happen, such as Haney was weight drained? And to be honest, I doubt it, because fans like to pick and choose when it's convenient to them. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing from Adiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content's coming your way.